Wednesday, June 14th, 1944. Dear Kitty, my head is haunted by so many wishes and thoughts, accusations and reproaches. I'm really not as conceited as so many people seem to think. I know my own faults and shortcomings better than anyone, but the difference is that I also know that I want to improve, shall improve, and have already improved a great deal. Why is it then I so often ask myself that everyone still thinks I'm so terribly knowing and forward? Am I so knowing? Is it that I really am, or that maybe the others aren't? This sounds queer, I realize now, but I shouldn't cross out the last sentence because it really isn't so crazy. Everyone knows that Mrs. Van Daan, one of my chief accusers, is unintelligent. I might as well put it plainly and say stupid. Stupid people usually can't take it if others do better than they do. Mrs. Van Daan thinks I'm stupid because I'm not quite so lacking in intelligence as she is. She thinks I'm forward because she's even more so. She thinks my dresses are too short because hers are even shorter. And that's also the reason that she thinks I'm knowing, because she's twice as bad about joining in over subjects she absolutely knows nothing about. But one of my favorite sayings is, there's no smoke without fire, and I readily admit that I'm knowing. Now the trying part about me is that I criticize and scold myself far more often than anyone else does. Then, if Mummy asks her bit of advice, then the pile of sermons becomes so insurmountable that my despair I become rude and start contracting, and then, of course, the old well-known Anne watchword comes back. No one understands me. This phrase sticks in my mind. I know it sounds silly, yet there is so much truth in it. I often accuse myself to such an extent that I simply long for a world of comfort, for someone who could give me sound advice and also draw out some of my real self. But alas, I keep on looking, but I haven't found anyone yet. I know that you'll immediately think of Peter, won't you, Kit? It's like this. Peter loves me not as a lover, but as a friend, and grows more affectionate every day. But what is the mysterious something that holds us both back? I don't understand it myself. Sometimes I think that my terrible longing for him was exaggerated, yet that's really not it. Because if I don't go up to see him for 2 days, then I long for him more desperately than ever before. Peter is good and he's a darling, but still there's no denying that there's a lot about him that disappoints me, especially his dislike of religion and all of his talk about food and various other things that don't appeal to me. Yet I feel quite convinced that we shall never quarrel now that we've made that straightforward agreement together. Peter is a peace-loving person. He's tolerant and gives in very easily. He lets me say a lot of things to him that he would never accept from his mother. He tries most persistently to keep the things in order. And yet why should he keep his innermost self to himself, and why am I never allowed there? By nature he is more closed up than I am, I agree, but I know, and from my own experience, that at some time or another, and even the most uncommunicative people long just as much, if not more, to find someone in whom they can confide. Both Peter and I have spent our most meditative years in the secret annex. We often discuss the future, the past, and the present, but, as I've already said, I still seem to miss the real thing, and yet I know that it's there. Yours, Anne. If you enjoyed that reading as much as I did, click the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button, and leave a comment below. Tell me how wonderful I am. Thanks for watching.